And we're on, guys. What an amazing day! I got to say, a glorious day at that. Yeah, I had to teach a lot of misfits today at school. As you know, I'm a school teacher for kids with special needs, so that's a lot of fun. That being said, I'm gonna put on the hat, literally my actor slash host hat, and I'm gonna jump on here and say that I am super delighted to have another wonderful guest. Every guest I put on or showcase, rather, I love to showcase the talented folks, which everyone has a talent. These people just happen to have found their talent bestowed upon them. And now they're going to showcase it on my show, yours truly, the Almost Famous Radio Podcast with Jim Francis Mesa. So, my next guest, she's remarkable. She's done quite a bit in a short period of time, if I may add, because she's very young, okay? And she's Latina Jew, just like yours truly. So it's fantastic to have one from my tribe, okay, on the show. She hails from Huntington Beach. She's a journalist. She's an actress. She's also dabbling in music pretty shortly. I'm very, very delighted to have. Please help me welcome Olivia Weinstock. There you are.
Hello, thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, I've been known to do some pretty wacky stuff, and this being one of them. I love. So there's nothing better than to have your name being mentioned, and then the next best thing would be in a holler or a mantra or a chant, if you will, right? So I got to tell you, I've been watching you, stalking you. I've been on. No, I got on Instagram and then I saw some of the stuff that you're working on, which is pretty impressive. Boy, you worked on a slew of things. I mean, you have worked on a lot in a short period of time. You graduated from. Let's back up. You're Huntington Beach native. Marina High School. God, and this was maybe just a couple of years ago, right? If I had to guess.
Yes, 2020, I graduated.
And then you went on to greater things. You went on to Cal State University, Long Beach, LBC, right? And let me guess, you have a degree in communications, correct?
Journalism, actually.
Journalism.
Yes.
Of course.
Close enough.
Close enough. They're neck and neck. And so then it brings you sort of get like some kind of, you get your feet wet because you're then able to go out there and get paid internship programs, correct? That's what you do while you're in school. And so you get to magically appear in these pretty cool places, because I gotta say, you stepped into some cool rooms with cool circles of people and interviewed like mostly sports. This is what we're talking about. So this is a woman doing sports and kicking ass in the sports journalism world. Wow, what I don't even know how in the world, like, where did this all kind of begin? Where did it begin? Because it had to brew somewhere in your head. Were you always good at sports? And what's your favorite team and what kind of sports do you like?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my favorite team, diehard 49ers fan, bang, bang, Niner gang. That's my favorite football team. And I played soccer literally my entire life. That was like my life. And so for the longest time, I didn't even know what I was going to do outside of it. When I was younger, I really, really felt a pull towards acting, but that wasn't an option. With my parents, they just didn't want me to do that. So I was like, okay, I need to back up and find something else that I'm really passionate about. And in seventh grade, one of the moms from another soccer team was a reporter at KCAL 9 News. So I shadowed her and I really just was like, oh my gosh, I can talk for hours. I could make this like a real love and a real job. And then throughout high school, I just kind of was given a bunch of opportunities. My math teacher happened to be the mayor of Huntington Beach at the time. She set me up with a journalist or like a cameraman that would do little like sports reporting segments. So I went out, did my first one, and he gave me some amazing notes that I will remember till this day. He told me that I sounded like a robot. So I was like, okay, I need to work on my voice. My voice for
Okay.
sure. I was not
Yeah,
a natural, to say the least. I was a natural at asking questions and speaking to people, but it took
sure.
me a while to find like my journalistic voice for sure. So then I
100%.
joined, yeah, ASB in high school, and I started doing the morning announcements. And that just really was something that I truly loved. I found such a passion for the morning announcements, and I would fill in all the way up until senior year until COVID happened. And I didn't get to
Wow.
finish the rest of my senior year, but I was very passionate about that. And then in college, of course, I got most of my college experience taken away as well because we weren't allowed to be on campus. So I really had to make up for lost time when we were allowed to be back on campus. And I joined our news station, our magazine, our journalistic business team that we had for our program. And I just full swing went in and started doing all of that stuff. And then I got a concussion in soccer, like pretty badly. And
Oh
I
no.
still have like effects from it till this day. But, you know, it just kind of closed the chapter on sports for me. And I really was like, okay, I saw my dad took me to a Rams game right when COVID opened back up, and I saw Aaron Andrews on the sideline. And I
What?
was like, you know what? This is a sign for me. I just suffered this concussion, and I think I can do it in sports. Like, you know,
Fantastic.
because I do have a passion for news, but sports is really like my niche. I
Right.
just feel like that's kind of where I
That's you're
thrive.
getting pulled in that direction.
Yes,
You're so
100%.
dynamic. I can just tell just by the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. You bring this energy to you. It's dynamic. It's great, and it's contagious. It definitely is, and I need it right now because I need to be a little more upbeat. I'm
Thank
joking.
you.
So continue.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you. Anyways, so yeah, I just really saw like a space and a need for more women in sports, like
Absolutely.
truly. And I didn't know how I was going to get there. I just decided, okay, if Erin Andrews can do it, I'm going to do it. And I told my dad one day I'm going to take her job. So I just kept going, and I got to work with NFL, and I did some really cool things. With them. And then I was able to, land a sports, um, a Super Bowl commercial. And that was
Right.
really amazing for Super Bowl 2023. Or I shot it in 2023. It was for the Super Bowl 2024. And that was an amazing experience. And then from there, I got my two internships that really just propelled me into the space that I am now, and full swing journalistic. Got to work with the LA Kings, and just
That's
like
right.
you
I saw
mentioned
that video.
before, yes, that was such an amazing experience as well too.
So
I will never forget that.
you also you're featured in two Super Bowl commercials for Nickelodeon and Bud Light, correct?
Mhm.
Wow, what was that like?
Yeah, the Nickelodeon one was absolutely amazing. That was one of the best experiences of my life. My mom dropped me off at the airport, the Long Beach airport, at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I landed Ubered by myself straight to Allegiant Stadium, had no idea where I was going, no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that I booked this Super Bowl commercial. I got there, and I was like, "Hi, I'm here for the Super Bowl commercial." And they're like, "Oh, the Nickelodeon one?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." I had no idea what it was for. I just got there. And so then they directed me towards hair and makeup. And it was really cool. Everybody had a bunch of different costumes laid out for them. I had literally no idea what we were doing. I was sent nothing except for a call time, a call sheet, and like a little bit of an agenda of what we were doing the day before, what time I needed to be there, and what time we were ending by. So then we get straight into hair and makeup. They put me in this blue outfit, and I'm still confused. I'm like, what is going on? And they took us into the empty stadium, and they sat us down and explained to us they're going to be animating like the SpongeBob characters with us. So there were some people dressed up as like beachgoers. It was so, so cool. And then we would leave like little open seats. And we just kind of, had to imagine that SpongeBob and all of
Yes.
his friends were there with us, but it was so much fun. And then at the
How
end,
magical is that?
it was so magical. They offered who wanted to get slimed, and that is on my bucket list. I dreamed
Oh,
of getting slimed by Nickelodeon, and I knew that I had a flight to catch the same night. So I didn't know how I was gonna wipe off all of the slime, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. This is a bucket list. I'm never gonna forget this for the till the day that I die. So
yeah.
I went, and the producers were like, okay, 1, 2, 3, ready, go. And we all got drenched with slime. And it's literally just like food coloring and
Yeah.
cornstarch. So it came off pretty easily, but there was still like green food
Remnants.
coloring on my hand. So when I went through TSA, one of the security guards was like, oh, what is that on your hands? And I just said, I signed an NDA. You can watch
Okay.
the Super Bowl, but it's nothing weird. It's just food coloring. And he just kind of looked at me and he was like, okay, girl,
Oh
let
my
me
God. The sight of
pass.
that was one to behold, I bet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like,
Mhm.
I wonder what every possible dream under and thought underneath the sun was going through their mind, thinking,
Yeah.
what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was, ladies and gentlemen, there was nothing weird. You know, and Olivia was just shooting a commercial, which you made out pretty good with that commercial, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big spot. Holy
Hmm.
moly, that's a
Yeah.
pretty big spot. If I remember correctly, usually those they go for millions of dollars to even nab a spot. You know, they have to buy them; they're
Hmm.
so expensive. Nickelodeon has the money and they have the slime, so
Yeah. Yeah. It was
slime time it
amazing.
was, right?
Yeah, and the staff and the crew and everyone was just so welcoming, and everyone that was in it with me,
You guys still keep the
they were
touch?
so amazing. And I still do follow a few of them on
Okay.
Instagram, but I know there was somebody that did like a deep dive of the Super Bowl, like it was technically like a special,
Yeah.
and they were interviewing some people. I don't even know. It was this thing that I found on YouTube because I was showing people, people were asking me about it. So I was showing people, and I somehow came across this YouTuber that did like a whole deep dive of the commercial. So I don't know
Fantastic.
exactly what he was talking about, but he asked a bunch of different questions to a few different people that were in the special. So it had
Sure.
a little viral moment, and
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of the viral moment, but
But
I
you were
was
still
in
part of the
theory.
you're still kind of in the midst of it because you were part
Yeah.
of this commercial, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow, phenomenal. Phenomenal. I gotta say, it's really cool. Like hearing your story, it's like you're taking a journey and I'm looking vicariously. I'm living through Olivia. That's fantastic. I mean, it's really cool. And it was right up your alley. I mean, after all, you're a beach girl, straight up right out of
Mhm.
Huntington Beach. Um, so what was like you grew up did you grow up in a very sheltered kind of family or what was life like early on for you?
Yeah, definitely. Very, very sheltered. One of my old soccer coaches used to joke that I'm in a bubble and I live in a bubble family and a bubble life. And that is 100% true. I didn't even know what divorce was until middle school. And that's being 100% honest. Like
Yeah.
me and all of my friends, we were just very like sheltered. And so when I went into middle school, I knew I needed to like branch out and make new friends because I was so innocent. And I remember like Colt 45 being just kind of like a canon event for me because I was like, what? What's weed? What do you mean? And there was a line in Colt 45. All the lines in Colt 45 are crazy, but I had no idea about any of this that happened in the real world. And so one of my friends showed me that song and I was like, what? Like, what is I didn't even understand. And so that truly like opened me up. And from then I've been cultured ever since. But
I love it.
yeah, I was living in like a pretty small
You're
Huntington
cultured
Beach
and
bubble.
kosher, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm
Um,
both of them.
exactly. We need pork tamales.
Yeah.
We don't, they're tasteful. I've had them, but we're not supposed to. Um, so let me ask you this. Were there a lot of taboos at home? Definitely a lot of conversations weren't had. Is that what you're also saying? Like,
Yeah.
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 And how were your grades like? Because you must have been like a valedictorian. I mean, you're doing, you're doing the. You told me you're doing the news and the morning. Like welcoming the students, right? What was
Hmm.
that like? Can you do like an excerpt or like a tiny little like a little sliver of what you did? Just
Yes.
like yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Okay, so in the morning, I would
Yeah.
always say, "Good morning, Vikings. This is Olivia Weinstock," and then whoever was with me, and we would go into like the daily announcements,
Occurrences and stuff like
and
that.
then we would close out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, that's
And
fantastic.
yeah,
That's so cool. Now, were you also student body president? Because it used to be that a lot of the people that did these announcements were student body presidents of their high school. Did you
um,
also dabble in that? Did you
no, I wasn't. We had a specific job for the morning announcements. So
okay.
I was
Okay.
that. And then
Uh-huh.
I did like they call them commissioner positions.
Sure.
So I did that. And that's really like what I was focused on.
Commissioned. Uh-huh.
I was a commissioner because I like to do
Fantastic.
things. I like to plan
Yes, you
events.
do.
So that was like my niche and what I really loved. And so I really loved doing all of that stuff throughout high school. And it was such a great experience for me.
That's fantastic. Shout out to Juan LaPrince, great PR, a good friend, and also hence why we're here talking tonight. So I really wanted to extend that, gratitude
Yes.
and just be able to say to give that thank you out to a good friend. Um, let's talk about so what are the challenges? I mean, there are definitely challenges that women have to pose in the sports media and how have you navigated thus far?
Yeah, it is very difficult because sometimes I find that people doubt our knowledge, and 100% I understand. I did not play tight end or quarterback. I was not an O lineman in
Right.
college. I also was not a pitcher, a catcher. I in baseball, I 100% understand that, but that still doesn't mean that I can't research. I can't understand what's happening in the game. I didn't grow up watching my brother play my whole life. I didn't grow up watching my dad coach. My mom played softball, and I didn't grow up a diehard like 49er fan. That doesn't determine my path, my story, my knowledge. And so I understand that a lot of men feel more entitled to thinking that they know more just because they played. But that also, doesn't take away from the fact that women want to be in the space as well. And we can still know what's happening. Just because we didn't play doesn't mean that we can't be on the sidelines and we can't ask those questions. We can't talk to those players. We can't know what's going on. It doesn't mean that we just are stupid and we don't know anything. And that's kind of like the
Yeah.
biggest challenge that I had to face, is proving to people that yes, I do know what I'm talking about. No, I don't know every single little thing, but
Sure.
it doesn't mean that I can't ask a question and I can't interview a player. And that doesn't mean that I can't produce a good story if I'm researching before. So yeah, it's really just rewarding, the path that I've been able to go on and been able to just keep, every time someone tries to knock me down, I just keep coming back up. And resilience is key in that space, especially seeing, a spot where women just aren't really present and they
Yeah.
aren't really there, and taking advantage of, making a name for not only myself but all the other women that are going to come after me and hopefully take my place one day. I hope that I'm doing a great job in paving the way for many, many others to come. And I just keep thinking, like, not only am I doing this for myself, but I'm doing this again for the other women that are going to come. And I love speaking on panels and giving back and going to my former sports journalism classes and speaking to them, and starting my own digital agency just to help as many people as I can possible, and especially just women trying to make an impact. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, look at you. I gotta say, you're very you're wise beyond your years, young lady. You know, it's amazing. Everything you said, I echo, by the way. I truly believe that women are a lot of times disenfranchised in that sense. There's a lot of times you know, you're checked off as, you know, written off, and you know, it's just a pretty face, or you know, be at the body. And no, by no means. I think like women have there's been a, you know, there's been so many people out there that have showcased their talents in the way of interviewing, where be it interview sports and whatnot. And when you interview you know, there's so much testosterone that we definitely need more women in the sport, because you know, a lot of there's also people that might have biases, you know, towards certain teams or whatnot, and it's super important. How does Olivia, curiosity just hit me, how do you prepare for these interviews? Like, where do you do your due diligence, your homework, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. Well, sometimes, I mean, if I'm doing, like, I recently worked with a 7-on-7 team, I had no idea who I was interviewing, what I was asking, but I happened to see some people that I did recognize, and I tried to do my homework. And so I was able to just prepare and have broader worded questions when I was doing that at SoFi Stadium. It was so much fun. I had the best time doing that and just being on the field and highlighting a younger upcoming audience of players that are going to be huge and going into their college years before they're 100% going to go to the NFL. They're like the top of their high school classes. I know they're going to kill it in college. So doing that was a little bit more difficult. But like, first example, like the LA Kings one, they did give us a face sheet, and I pretty much knew every single person that was on there. So I just quickly brought out my phone, wrote down my notes, and anybody that I wasn't too familiar with, I just did a brief search on Google. Also, ChatGPT is my bestest friend. Going on there, and you can literally ask ChatGPT, like, give me facts about this person, or what is the most, um, you know, biggest accomplishments of blah blah blah, and it
Oh,
will give you like a list, and then I can, you know, plug that into my notes on my phone, just word it, and as people are, you know, coming down the red carpet for that specific instance, I was able to be like, okay, so this is this person, this is what they accomplished, this is what I want to ask them. And if they were more of a social media personality, I would word it a little bit differently. And if they were more of an athlete, sports personality, I would word it, you know, more like you're talking to a player on a sideline, like I was
so
used to.
you
So,
had to like learn the jargon too. Like, that's the
mhm.
one thing, you sort of have to be a chameleon, if you will, and sort of learn what's out there in the
Yeah.
way of, you know, the new semantics, wording, the way, you know, what's hip, what's cool, you know,
Yeah.
and the
100.
catchphrases, and so you almost have, like, you have to be able to know your audience, and then be able to spill to those particular folks, you know, in the manner that suits them, you know, and then you go to the younger crowd and talk to them as well. That's a whole art in and of itself. Like, it's just pretty rad, you know, pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And so what's like the last event? Because you spoke about a few. What's the one that really stands out as like the most memorable one thus far?
Definitely the LA Kings event. That was the play. It was so full circle for me because I got to interview Aaron Andrews, who truly, as I was speaking about earlier, jump started my journey in sports and my career. And she really did help pave the way. And I speak about her in every interview that I do. I just truly like commend her for that space that she was able to fill. And I was able to interview her, and I literally love her so much. Her husband was there, her child was there, and it was just so cool and just honestly so commendable to be able to see that you can have a family, you can have a kid, and still be inspiring to so many others in this industry. And you can still, you know, have a life and still be a presence out in other events. And I just let her know like she was the reason why I am where I am today, and I
Yeah.
would not be doing what I'm doing without her. And so I just thanked her, and I spent like 2 minutes interviewing her, which on the red carpet is very long.
Yeah.
It's like just short, sweet, move along to the next.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I was like, this is my moment. This is so, so full circle for
For
me
real too.
because
I
I,
bet.
you know, like I was speaking about earlier, when I saw her on the field, I just knew immediately I'm going to do that. I don't know how, but I am going to be there. And 4 years later, I got to interview her. So it was the most full circle, memorable, amazing moment. And of course, I got to interview so many other cool people as well. And Jenny Taft, who I love as well. I got to interview too, who is a big presence in our network and just in the sports community as well. And she was amazing. So both of those, I was just absolutely in awe after I got to do that. And it was the
So it's
most
like a,
memorable thing.
I think like a symbiotic thing, you know, like you meet
Mm-hmm.
people and then you learn from them, and as you're learning, you're almost like feeding each other back and forth, you know. And you know, you mentioned something important. It's so true. Like a lot of times you gloss over a lot of stuff. It's very like surface level, you know, real quick kind of questions, move along, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next person comes. But it's really awesome to be able to have some like to know them on a personal level, like meaning in the way of actually know their history, their record, why, how they inspired you, and you know, in Aaron's case, what other girls did you, or like ladies or males for that matter, did you like look up to growing up?
Yeah. Well, I spoke a little bit about Jenny Taft, but I
Mhm.
absolutely love her. She was amazing. I truly looked up to her. And yeah, Erin Andrews was definitely my like female presence that I loved so
Mhm.
much. But I would say male wise, well, recently it's honestly been Tom Brady because he just kind
Tom
of
Brady's a
showed,
goat.
yeah, he just kind of showed how you can really transition into an analysis space and a space where people don't think that you are the best at, and just kind of prove everyone wrong, keep working on your craft. And I know that he did get a lot of hate in the beginning, but he just kept going, working through it, and he's been getting better every day. So that was really, really inspiring to me to see, and it inspires me, you know, currently to just keep going. Even when people hate on you and say you're not good at something, it doesn't mean that you're forever going to be horrible at this. You just got to keep going, keep working, ignore the haters, and you know, just keep
They
pursuing
use the
through.
naysayers and haters as fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah,
keep it's
100%.
kind of the oil for the greasy
Mm-hmm.
oil for the wheels to keep you moving on forward, right? Because you're either moving
Yeah.
forward or backward. There's no such thing as staying idle and still. I
Yeah.
love that you're moving forward. You're super ambitious and super palpable. I can feel the ambition in you, and you know, it's really in our blood. I can tell you that much. A lot of ambition here on this side too. Growing up, you know, I used to be a limo driver. That's why, hence, I have a little limo up at the top in the corner. I used
Oh,
to
I
be a
love
limo
that.
driver, yeah. And as a driver, I got to talk to Vanessa Hudgens, you know, you name it, Ashton, a lot of Black Eyed Peas, so many people I got to talk to. And as a driver, I was that talkative driver. I was Jimmy the driver. So they'd be talking to me, and then we'd discuss a lot of stuff, and I interview them. You know, it would be one of those like kind of like, hey, by the way, this and that. Hey, what year did this come out? And then know some facts, and then before you know it, you know, it's just like we had a full on conversation. Like, wait a minute, was supposed to be the stop? Oh yeah, but yeah, totally. I think when you have, you know, you plant that seed, or the seed has been planted, there's no going back. There's no turning back. You must you must continue to forge on forward and move on with that for sure. Do you have any collaborations that you've been doing as of yet with other people, perhaps that you thought were really fun to collaborate with thus far?
Yeah, I think kind of looking back on the Bud Light Super Bowl commercial experience, it's a very small world because it happened at my aunt and uncle's house. And I will never forget, we met Post Malone, and I love Post Malone so much. And he
Sweet.
came into my aunt and uncle's house. It was so cool because my whole family was there. I was fangirling
Wow.
so hard, and I had heard that he was a great person, but I wasn't expecting anything. He just needed to use the restroom. And we're all freaking out. We couldn't believe that he was in, like where I spent a lot of my childhood. My aunt and uncle used to watch me all the time, and I would go over there, and he was there. And
Wow.
he came and shook every one of our hands. He called me ma'am, and he just thanked us for letting us use our home. And even though it wasn't my home, but he just, was speaking to everybody.
It might as
He
well be your
was,
home. You live there
yeah,
most.
yeah, he was so amazing. Just, I can't speak highly enough of the grace that he had, and just the funniest, nicest person on set, too. It was absolutely amazing to just see and be a part of and just be there for that day. And seeing the work that went into it all, it was probably the best and most exciting collaboration I've had to date.
Holy moly! Sounds mother of God. Sounds exciting because this guy is a brain. He's a genius. He's a all the above. The guy is yeah. I've heard from other people as well, and I'm so glad that you were able to meet him in the flesh, and he was able to spend some time. And I mean that's definitely one for the books. Epic moment in time.
100%. Oh, yeah.
uh,
I wanted to add too, really quickly. I was at Coachella, and he was the headliner this year.
Wait, it's
And
Bratchella, isn't it?
yeah,
That was you.
Bratchella. Bratchella. Yeah.
Tell me what that's about. Tell me what that's.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's Charlie XCX because she had her Brat Summer.
Oh, okay.
Saturday she performed, and so Saturday was Bratchella, Friday was
Bratchella.
Gagachella, and
Yeah.
then Sunday there was really no name, but I'm gonna call it Post Malonechella because it
Oh,
was.
wow. That must
It
have been
was
like full circle too. And then the fact like, I know that guy right there, but it just felt more
seriously.
intimate, right? When you meet someone or
Yes.
you like spend any amount of time with famous people, like I mean, which it just over time it just becomes just people that do things in front of a TV or
Hmm.
they're just known for something. But when you see them and then it becomes a little more personal, when you see
Hmm.
them and then you like see them on stage. Who's the first famous person you ever met?
Oh my gosh, I have to think back to when I was on Shake It Up, because that was a whirlwind of a moment. But I met Ross Lynch and his brother. I believe it was Ryder, which was also full circle because I got to interview both of them on the
What?
red carpet at the LA Kings. Yeah, so that
That's
was full
amazing.
circle. But they were the very first celebrities that I ever met. And I wanted to tell them that too, but we only had such a short amount of time. I didn't want to waste my time with that. But yes, they were the very first celebrities that I met when I was on Shake It Up.
And
And
have you ever met your celebrity crush?
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Ah!
Yes, but
Oh,
I wouldn't really consider it
yeah,
meeting
exactly. Yeah.
because we weren't really allowed to speak to him. So it was more just like a staring from afar, and he was
Platonic,
there.
platonic.
And yeah, he definitely knew, he saw me there. And um, I don't know if you consider that meaning, but I consider it
Well,
a staring, a staring interaction, which is close enough. So
I
yeah.
think everything happens in due time and God's timing, not a second later, a second sooner. So it's
Yeah.
just a matter of time, and time's just space. So
Yes,
Olivia,
exactly.
I guarantee you'll be in the same room one day and be like, yeah, whatever, it's Tom. Hey there. I know. Oh, he'll probably be like, oh my God, I love your work, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
so like I'm hearing you out, you're doing these things. Have you ever done American Music Awards? You do other like regular red carpets with celebrities, or is it, I mean, meaning like film and music, or is that something that you're like considering in the future, in the nearby future?
Yes, definitely. I would definitely love to do more red carpet interviews. I
Mhm.
loved doing that, and it just really came super natural to me. I feel like I just have like a warming personality, and they were really able to open up to me, and a lot of people commented on that as well. And it was
Yeah.
just a really special moment for me, and I would definitely be interested in doing way more red carpet interviews because that was so much fun. And award season is going, we just had it, but I know that they
No,
look
it
for people
continues.
to, it continues throughout. There was just the AMAs.
They
There's a lot
have
of
they have
different things.
everything, all
Hmm.
sorts of accolades, like for any little
Yes.
thing, Mother Goose,
Yes.
oh, I had a baby. All right, we're gonna do like that kind of award show and have people turn out and then vote, online. There's a lot going on
100%.
throughout the year, me being
Yeah.
obviously a driver, I knew all that already,
Yes.
tons of them, and they keep adding them. So people's
Yeah.
choice awards, the awards of
Mhm.
the fans, and it
Yeah.
just gets better and better, in that regards. There's gonna be plenty of room for you to showcase your talents, and I'm super excited to see what the future holds, and just kind of, I mean, I expected this, and but really like exceeded my expectations in terms of where you took it, and you're definitely just a warm person. Yeah, you have a great personality, um and just I know that the world holds, you have the world at your fingertips. There's so much, it's very promising.
Thank
um,
you.
I really do. I just to kind of wrap things up, because we're like 5 minutes away from coming to a close.
Uh-huh.
I do want to ask you real quick. Let's drop our our handles, so social media handles, if we can. Where could people find you?
Yeah, definitely. So on Instagram, you can find me at Olivia Weinstock, same spelling right here on the screen. On TikTok, it's at Olivia on TV. And if you would like to visit my digital agency, you can
Yes,
at Live Digital Agency on Instagram and TikTok. We have some really exciting things
let me write this.
coming. And yeah, I'm just really excited to, showcase more of that creative space that I have online as well, too.
Oh wow, brilliant. Yeah, there's I got to tell you, one of the things I like to touch on just before we wrap things up here is your acting. So you are also dabbling in acting, and the little birdie told me that you're also might be singing soon. So that you've done some singing or something, and it's in you, and you just, all encompassing, well rounded kind of thing. I've done singing myself, and not just
Yeah.
in the shower. I guarantee you, I've tried my hand at it. And not just karaoke. I do have some pipes, you guys, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not as young anymore to start the career, but I think you could do it all
You
because,
can. You're
hey,
never too
listen,
young.
thank you. Let me ask, we're never too old, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did the singing and the acting bug kick in? Like, when did that
Yeah.
happen?
Oh, the acting bug I've had ever since I was a little girl. I always wanted to act, and I'll never forget I was in Payless and I was trying on shoes walking down the aisle, and I actually had a Disney agent come up to my mom and was like, "Your daughter is so perfect. You need to bring her in. She's amazing for Disney Channel. We would love to see her on blah 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 date." And I just looked at my mom, and I was absolutely crushed. I knew she would never let me do it, and she just
Yeah,
threw the paper away, and it crushed my dreams. And we've had many conversations about it with my dad and my mom, and just how, the industry exploits you and all that stuff. So they told me,
right,
when you're an adult, you can
right.
pursue it on your own if that's something that you still would like. And I've just dreamed about it. I've wanted to be an actress my entire life. And so to
Beautiful.
be able to even be featured in like a couple commercials and still be getting my foot in the door, it's honestly just, I just can't even believe that it's real. And I'm still trying my best. I'm constantly like auditioning, doing self tapes, and I'm just
Good.
really working towards it. And then, of course, like you mentioned, I have been working on my vocals a little bit. Once a week, I go and see a vocal coach, and I'm just very thankful because, my family just like support that. My dad helps me, and he really is passionate about letting me, do that. And I don't claim to be a good singer. I just claim to be working on it. So I recorded my cover of my very first song, and it's turning out okay. I don't
You want to
know
sing?
if,
You want to
yeah.
sing You want to go for it? Take a little dive into the. You could. You could give everyone, a little preview of what they have happening in the nearby future. We could possibly do that. Like, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I will be showing a preview of the song on my Instagram, so you have to follow
Fantastic.
me. And I'm probably gonna upload it to like YouTube, Spotify, something,
TikTok,
just to see.
everything.
Yes, but it is a theater cover of Wicked, and we did I'm Not That Girl, as I love Wicked. So it's just a cover, but I'm going to be doing a couple different covers, and then I think I really do want to like release something of my own, but I want to get my vocals
start
better.
with the covers. Everything starts with covers. The best rock bands started with covers. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
There are knowing people in the industry, that musicians, a lot of people did covers and are continuously doing covers. They're like, they give their own spin, because at the end of the day, you're going to give it your own, you're going to doctor it and give it your own spin. And that's just the way it is, and that's okay, because that's really legitimate, and genuine when you create your own piece. And so there's no plagiarism or anything involved. There's no like, I'm copying this from someone. There's no such thing, because somebody else copied something. Words are just words at the end of the day. You can add whatever you like. And super happy and grateful to have had you on the show. That's our time. Oh my God, where does time go, Olivia? God.
I don't know. Thank you so much for having me.
Soon. I have a studio that I come in once in a while. I haven't been at the studio, but like to have you on. We'll have a lot of fun at the studio. It's great. There's a lot of alcohol. Shh, don't tell anyone. Everybody has to.
I'm there. I'm there.
I'm there. I'm sold.
You sold me. You sold me.
I am so happy to have you on. I mean, honestly, you're so gracious to come on here, and I'm very, very happy and fortunate to just have you in this space right now and be able to partake of this moment with you in time. I know you're going to go very far, and I can hardly wait to see all the great things you're going to do. Okay. You promise to visit again?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You sold me with the studio and the alcohol. So I want 100% feedback. But yes, thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate you and your graciousness and your kindness.
Thank you, Olivia Weinstock, everyone. Shalom. See you soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care now.
Okay.